My name, all right. So can you guys hear me? Just confirming. You can just confirm that in the chat box. Good morning, everyone. I'm Eniola, and I'm delighted to welcome you all to today's expert session. I will be your host for today's virtual event. So before we begin, let me quickly thank you all for taking the time to join us today. We know it's a Saturday. We have an engaging and informative session planned for you. And we have the privilege to have our special partner, Propel, joining us today. In case you're not already familiar with Propel, let me just give you a quick rundown. Propel serves as the talent pipeline partner for top brands like Mercedes, Orange, Stepstone, and so much more. They are all about helping fast-growing businesses access top tech talents in communities like ours, Product Hub Africa, with an innovative approach known as Community as a Service. In fact, over 100 companies spread across three continents, have tapped into Propel's expertise to help them find the best tech talent. Please mute your mic. Please mute your mic. Please, please, I'd appreciate if we could all keep our mic muted. We'd have like time for questions and all, but please let's make sure that our mic is muted so that we can all enjoy this session. Thank you. So as I was saying, Propel is focused on accelerating the growth of tech talents by providing them access to global job opportunities. And if you're in this call, if you're in this meeting right now, it means that you're on your way or you're already trying to build a career in tech, which makes you a tech talent. So with Propel, you're not just connecting with a partner that would connect you to jobs, you're opening a door to a world of possibilities. And we're truly, truly excited to have them with us today, beautifully represented by the lovely Folakemi Oladimeji for this expert session on ACING tech interviews and accessing job offers. So I will just quickly take us through who Folakemi Oladimeji is. Folakemi is a value enabler with over 3 years of experience connecting. Can you hear me very well? I can see someone say they cannot hear me very well. Can everybody else hear me very well?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, like I was saying, Folakemi is a value enabler with over 3 years of experience connecting talents with top organizations.
You are muted, Eniola. We can't hear you anymore.
Okay, can you hear me better? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So Folakemi is currently fostering partnerships efforts at Propel with tech communities and in Africa through its community-powered platform as a growth and partnership analyst. So this simply means that our expert today is a growth and partnership analyst. So hi Folakemi, good to have you join us today.
Hi everyone. Hi Eniola. So happy to be here.
Oh, thank you. We like your voice.
Are you serious?
Yes, we do. So, as I said earlier, today we're talking about a topic that is just as important as learning and building a career in tech, acing tech interviews and accessing job offers. It's not exactly an easy field to navigate, and this is why we put this session together today, so that you can provide us with valuable insights and expertise on how to do it with ease, so that when we're doing it, we know that yes, we're doing it the right way, and we're doing it in a way that would yield results. So We're glad to have you here with us. And before I hand over to you, before we delve deeper, I'd just like to state to people that are hearing me that we encourage active participation and interaction. So your questions and insights are valuable. So if you have any questions or you have any thoughts, don't hesitate to share them in the chat box, and we'll get to them during the course of the session. So now I'll be handing over to our expert, Folakemi. Hi, Folakemi, over to you.
Right. Thank you very much, Eniola. I just wanted to confirm how many minutes, how many hours do I have?
So okay, I think we can do 30 minutes just so that we have enough time to take questions and run back and forth.
Awesome. The questions are very much important because it
Yeah.
speaks to the needs of the people that we have on the call, and not just what I'm about to share with everyone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you very much for having me here. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, Nuruddin, Murayo, and every other person that is on the call. You may be wondering how do I know your names? I can see them on my screen. So I just read that name of people I'm seeing on my screen here. I'm sure Victoria was like, my name. Yeah, so I'm happy to be here. And I'd really like to share my video, but Nigeria happened to me. It's raining, so when it rains, sometimes they just decide to help us switch off the lights from their headquarters. All right. My name is Folakemi, as Eniola earlier introduced, and I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited about the topic I'll be sharing on, because in about few weeks I'll be 1 year in Propel, and Propel haven't been my first job in tech, and the process that led to me transitioning to tech or getting a job in Propel is very, very interesting, and it's not like the regular way people get jobs. Yeah, and I'm excited to be here, and thank you, Victoria. Thank you very much. So I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you to share in the chat box where are you joining from. You could just put one word. How do you feel this morning? I can see it's raining here in Jakonde, Lagos. And it's quite cold, so I'm putting on my sweatshirt. So let me know where you're joining from. How do you feel this morning? Just one word. And what do you look forward to? Because I know that some of us have other plans, but then we choose to be here. It's a choice. So just drop in the chat box. I'll be reading. I'll find a way to check them out. Just do that. So let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get to it, because I'm super looking forward to the questions. All right. Please confirm if you can see my screen. Eniola, I will need you. Yeah. Oh, somebody's joining from Togo. I like it.
Yes, Folakemi, I can see your screen clearly.
Okay. I just stopped.
Okay, yes, I cannot see it again.
Someone is joining from Abeokuta. Awesome, awesome. I think that's what the virtual world affords us now. And Propel is a tech startup that is based in Europe, and then I'm in Nigeria, Lagos, working from here at the comfort of my home. Can you see my screen again now?
Yes, we can.
Awesome, great. Yeah, so our topic today, our topic that we are trying to have breakfast on, is a guide to making your next career move, acing interviews and assessing job offers. So I'll just start with a brief story of how I got into Propel. And I want us to note one particular thing, is that value will always attract value. Value attracts value. So, and of course, value means different things to different people. But if you're trying to attract what you need, you must sure that you are positioning yourself for that kind of thing. I can't be as looking forward to transitioning into product management and then I choose to be in a community of data data people. So I'm saying that's one of the first move that I'm congratulating you for making, especially for someone who is interested in product or product management, product design, or everything product, is that you're a part of Product Hub Africa. And I must say that you have very hands-on and people that are interested in your growth as your admin. I've been relating with Aisha and a couple handful of your admins over the email. I can see that they're very much interested in your growth. They are interested in everything that is about you. Yeah, so a brief introduction. The job market, like you already know, is more competitive than ever before. And but the good news is that with the right tool and knowledge, you can stand out and land your dream job. There are million and one tech communities coming up every day, focusing on one tech skill or one technology that is just out and whatnot. You know, and even now with Atlas just acquired Loom. So you know, everybody is acquiring something, everybody is coming up with a lot of innovation, a lot of things. So what sets you apart, or what will set you apart? And I also want us to know that your skill or your person, your uniqueness, is what make the whole pool very diverse and interesting. You know, so we can have 3 product managers in a room and give each of these 3 people a particular project. They'll most likely come up with solutions from their own perspective. You know, so I'm saying that your journey in tech, or your journey in your choosing path in tech, is unique to you, and your story is for you to tell. We would see that some in the first 1 month of them trying to learn the skill, before you know it, they're getting a gig, or they are probably getting their first job. Some people, it could take them 2 months, some 6 months, some 1 year, and some, as the case may be, more than a year. You know, so I remember in 2022, yeah, no, 2022, or I would say I got my first job in 2020, 3 months after NYSC. And I studied environmental biology, and but I had something in me that I was just interested in nature. It was not a passion, it was just an interest, because I knew that the course I studied in school, it's probably not one of those things that are common around here, and I might not really get the kind of job that I want, or the pay that I want. So I said, "Oh, let me do HR." But I knew that to get into HR, I needed the knowledge, you know, even if I don't have the skill. And, you know, I got the opportunity to work with Protein. That's the name of the company I work with. And from the day that I started working, I never stopped applying to jobs. And it was not because I was looking to run out. It was because I had the idea that I just wanted to, I didn't want to get stale, you know. And that aside, then fast forward to 2020, I needed to change jobs. Then I started reaching out to, yeah, I had in mind that I wanted to go into tech. I want to be an HR in tech, or do, my next move was going to be in tech. You know, then I knew that tech was a very hard nut to crack, or is a very hard nut to crack for some people, you know, but I needed to go the unconventional way. And I've been very, very active on LinkedIn. And so I noted down some startup that I wanted to reach out to. Um, I didn't make an actual list, I just made a mental list of startups I wanted to reach out to, their CEOs, and also maybe strategic people in different roles. And that's what I did. I was doing that constantly for months and months and months. And then one day I saw someone view my profile, and you know, LinkedIn is olufufu, like Yoruba would say, you know, told me that somebody checked my profile. And for anyone that I see check my profile, I try to also look at your profile and see if it's something that it could have something that I need. And I reach out to the person, hey, your little bit told me you just check my profile. Is there any help you may need from me, or da 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 da? And she just smiled like, oh, a little bit, was right. And she went along. Then I just, okay, this company looks nice. I just dropped to her, be like, oh, I have XYZ skill for how many years, and I'm interested in XYZ ABC role in case you are hiring, and that was all. And today I'm at Propel. That was the person I reached out to. Them is my current team lead, you know, and that was how I got an interview, and I got the job within I had just one interview and I got the job that same day, and then I'll be 1 year in a couple of weeks. So I'm saying it to say that another person's journey to tech could be, I applied to a job via job board. Another person could be, oh, it was on Twitter. I have friends that got jobs through Twitter or through this thing. So I'm saying that I want us to debunk or to let away with that there's a one way to apply to jobs or to get into tech. You can be very innovative about yours, you can be very dynamic about yours, but the key thing is that you can only offer what you have. So reaching out to my current team lead on Twitter, on LinkedIn rather, was letting her know the skill that I have, how many years I've been doing that for, and the particular role that I am open to. I was not saying I just want to get into, just give me anything, so you can land your dream job with the right knowledge and with the right tool. So acing your tech interviews, you need to arm yourself with strategies like one I just shared with you, and tips, tools for this readiness. The first thing is for you to know, to make up your mind about, oh, this is a particular niche or a particular this thing in tech that I'm very interested in, and I want to devote the next 6 months of my life, or let's say 1 year of my time, to doing this, getting the right skill, and also engaging in a community like Product Hub that has these people that have similar interests as me, and then arming yourself with the right tools. We'll go into that as we move along. Part of this strategy is ensuring that you practice your interview beforehand and get feedback on performance from friends and your community. Like they say, if you don't plan ahead, you're planning to fail already. I remember then when we were in school, there could be a particular subject that you know so much, and you just know that, oh, I don't need to read so much about this one. Let me just do this. I've forgotten how to spell is in exams before, or HOW how, and I'm just like, is is. It didn't make sense. Like, I know how to spell is, but right now it's not coming. Aside exam fatigue and all of that, I'm trying to say that there's a way that if you are not very much prepared, the things that you even know can slip off your head, at interviews. So you have friends, you have colleagues. It could be at your place of worship. It could be your sibling. It could be a member of the Product of Africa. That's your friend on your communication channel, or you just have a little group of people. Practice beforehand. And before then, before even practicing beforehand, let's say a recruiter reaches out to you that, hey, Victoria, I'm interested in interviewing you for this particular role that my company is. The first thing you should do, even after the recruiter has shared the details with you, is to go ahead and check about your company online. Gather the right resources. I've actually saved a friend from wasting her time going to an interview because I asked people on Twitter, please, who knows this particular company? I'm like, oh, it's one of those GNLD, or it's one of those XYZ companies that are just false, and more than ever before, you need to be security conscious, So preparing for interview first starts with, what do you know about the company? What do you know about the role? So another thing is read articles on how to approach interviews. There are a lot of resources out there. There are audio resources. They'll say YouTube is a university on its own. There are a lot of it there. There's LinkedIn for you there. There are people that have written articles on a lot of articles. Like, we're in a age where there's so much of information out there for us, and then many people are even having information overload right now. But you can structure yourself, or structure your time in such a way that it's productive for yourself, getting down to planning and say, oh, in your search box, how to approach interviews or tech interviews, everything comes on and you select from your choice. Conduct an in-depth research on the prospective company, like I've said earlier. The first thing I did when I was told I will be interviewed by Propel is to go ahead and read about Propel. What's this company about? How long have they been in existence? or what was this role there before? Was somebody on the role before? Is it a new role and whatnot? And what there was even something that I even did was that I reached out to somebody in Propel that I know on LinkedIn, and I've seen her engage in a particular WhatsApp, in a mutual WhatsApp group, and we had a one-on-one Google Meets, just trying to get to know about, okay, what's a day like working at Propel, and she gave me from her own perspective how the company is, and that informed my decision, because I was very, very scared, because it was at that time that tech companies were actually laying off a lot of people, and then this is startup, so don't just sleep blindly, or don't just get overly excited because quote and unquote they promise you to pay in foreign currency, or is a remote gig. You need to be very careful, either a remote, hybrid, or on-site, or whatever work style they have. Be very careful out there. Yeah, be sincere about your accomplishments and talk about them proudly, but do not blow them out of proportion, or else it will be a case of, oh, you said you can do this, they give you the job, and then you're on the job, you're unable to perform, and then 3 months, 6 months, they're laying you off. You wouldn't want that, so I always advise people that when they're talking about their achievement, their accomplishment, or what they've done at particular, you can use the STAR approach, STAR. It means you talk about the situation, the task, the action, and the results. For instance, let's say when I was very much active in doing recruitment consulting in my former company, and they asked me, oh, talk about the time when you had to hire a particular let's say you had to hire a full stack engineer for a client, so maybe it's very hard to fill role. Yeah, let's do that. So the situation is, oh, I had this hard to fill role. What was the task? Okay, number two, I had to do XYZ, or had to plan myself, or had to reach out to people within my network to see if they have these talents within their own pool, or they've recruited something like this before. The task was to recruit, and the action was reaching out to people, posting on social media and whatnot, and then the interviews and all. And the result was that within 1 week, or within 3 days, I was able to share profiles with the clients, which they've never had. It has never happened before. Probably the clients usually get CVs in 1 week, 1 month, or probably they just get ghosted by the interviewer, by the recruiter, or probably a time when you had to deliver on a project as a freelancer. How did you deal with it? What was the situation? Was you as a freelancer and your client, the task was you to build a website, an e-commerce website, or to probably do a UI UX something, or that, and then the action, how you go about it, and what it now resulted in. Oh, the website you built, or the e-commerce store you built, yielded in the company getting 30% an increase in their profits that they've never had before. So majorly just making sure that you are very specific, you are very smart about your accomplishment, and then you don't blow them out of proportion. Make eye contact and endeavor to answer all questions sincerely. It could be a virtual interview. Make sure that you're looking at the camera, you're not looking away. I had an intro call a few days ago with a community in Warri, and all throughout the call, one of the lead person that was speaking with me was busy pressing his phone, and he was busy working on another laptop, and I felt insulted. Like, I came on the call to talk to you and you were busy doing something else. So it could speak a lot about you, because this is an interview that you should have prepared for. You should have cleared your calendar for that 30 minutes, making it worth it for yourself and the interviewer. It could speak about your person. Some interviewers can make decisions based on that. Make eye contact in a physical interview where you have to walk into the company. Make sure that you're looking at your interviewer, not like you're gazing at them constantly, but then from time to time you're making eye contact, you're looking away, making eye contact, making them know that you really know what you're talking about, and you're sincerely answering your questions. The next slide. You can please drop your questions in the chat box. I'll make sure to come to them. Interview readiness tools, like some of the tools that you can use to prepare you ahead of your interview. Number one is interview preparation, interview prep. This is an AI tool that is designed to assist job seekers in refining their interview skills through practice session, performance tracking, and and resources for improvement. In a case where, oh, you really don't want to have the interview with your parents, maybe they are very busy, or you want to do it with someone else, you want to use a tool that gives you that same experience. Is a tool that can help you with that. And interesting, Propel has a partnership with ACE, and for you to be a member of Product Africa, it means you are eligible to joining Product Africa on Propel, and then you can have access to this particular AI tool at a very, very discounted rate. And then we have Glassdoor. Glassdoor gives you insights into common questions employers ask and possible responses to give. With Glassdoor, you can even get the salary range for a particular level or particular role in a company. You can get insight into how the employees in that company feel about that particular company, even from past employees. You can get to know what your fate might be if you join that particular company. Some of the companies that we respect so much these days are actually based on what people have said about them, are saying about them currently. And then number two, we have LinkedIn. LinkedIn arms you with information about the company, the people, and the culture. Get on LinkedIn once a company reaches out to you or you're interested in a company. Read about them on LinkedIn. They have their website there. You can get to schedule one-on-ones with somebody from the team, just letting them know your intention. You don't need to you don't need to be afraid of reaching out. And so that's all I have to share with you today, and I hope it makes a lot of sense. So let me just wrap it up. Value attract value, like I said earlier. Another thing that I mentioned is that when you're answering questions during interview, employ the STAR approach, STER. That is, mention the situation, the task you were given, the actions you took, and of course the results. And I think that's all for now. I'm really, really looking forward to your questions because it will help me to also deep down into some things that are very much interested to you.
Thank you so much for that, Kemi. Thank you so much. That was a very insightful session. I hope that people have questions to ask because me, as you were talking, I was noting down a lot of questions and I have questions. So if you guys don't have questions, may I have? So ask your
Please go ahead.
questions so she can answer your questions.
You can raise your hand if you want to unmute so that we don't. Let me stop sharing my screen so I can see.
So we have a question in the chat box already.
All right, where is it?
Okay, so Nuruddin Akosile asked, what are the qualities that attract employees or that they normally consider?
What are
I think yes. I think
what
that's
are the
the
qualities
question.
that attracts employees or that they normally consider most working with? Okay, let me interpret this question the way I understand it. What are the qualities that an employer look forward to in a prospective employee? Nurudi, you can give it a thumbs up if that's what you mean. Okay, awesome. Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that response. So the qualities that an employer looks forward in a prospective employee. I was thinking one of my meditations earlier this morning is how that I don't want to have a disjointed life or compartmentalized life, in the sense that I've always been a sucker for I don't want to have a work life. I don't want to have a financial life, a career life. How people share things all around, and I want to be that person, that same person person at work, at home, and all of that, even though I could be that at different places, but then still maintaining my personality. What we did employer look forward to: one, intrapreneurial minded, entrepreneurial minded in such a way that you can take up tasks. You're someone who is proactive. You will not be the one to draw the your team member backward on a project. You're proactive. You are optimistic about the project or the product that your company is building. You are not the one to say that, oh, this thing will not work, and it's okay to say something will not work, but then are you profiling alternative way, or are you sharing why this thing would not work? Like at Propel, we are encouraged to share our sentiments about matter, but not just only share your sentiments, give suggestions or recommendations, or why you think this particular thing won't work. So number one, I mentioned you're proactive. Number two, you're optimistic about the product you're building. Number three, you're result driven. You're result driven. You know your task and you want to achieve it at all costs. And you're also a product a problem solver. And aside all this, as regards that all this I've mentioned is aside the requirements for the role, which of course will be in the JD. I always tell people another thing you should know before going for an interview is to read the job requirements or in the JD that has either been shared with you or on the job ad that you have seen online that informed your decision to apply. So I hope I've been able to sum that up in those things I've listed already.
Thank you. So, Nuruddin, I hope Olakemi has been able to answer your question. So we have another question.
Yes, thanks.
All right, thank you. So from Doni, in the fashion of being honest, is telling the interviewer that making money is a good motivation for you bad? That's making good money for yourself and the company too.
Okay, as much as possible, sometimes life is not always about good or bad, and then your interview most times will go in either of two ways. It could be determined by the person of the interviewer, or three, the company itself, the company culture. So as a person, I like when I'm interviewing a candidate, I make you as comfortable as possible because I know that I am not doing you a favor. It's a mutually beneficial relationship because once you come, I reached out to you for a particular role because I saw value in you, and because I feel you are the solution towards a problem that we probably have and why we are filling that particular role. So if a candidate is asking me or telling me this particular answer that you want to make money, except we want to be lying to ourselves, like why do you work? You're working because you want to make money, and then you're making money so that you can live a better life, and then a better life so that you can do your job or so it now depends on how you answer this particular question or how you share it with your interviewer, and also the interviewer, him or herself. Somebody else can take it out of proportion and be like, especially when the person be like they're maybe doing you a favor or doing you a favor. So money is also a good motivation to want to work in the company. Of course, I wouldn't want to work with a company that wouldn't pay me what I expect or what I want, except probably they have other perks that might interest me and could benefit me in the long run. So I hope that answers. So money is not a bad motivation, and for you to say it. So it depends on how you say it, and then you can know how you say it by when you get in an interview, you would know the kind of people. You can perceive it by the way they ask you questions. So sometimes you just need to perceive the air, look at it, is this a kind of question that I need to ask you? Or do you even need the job? Some people go for interview just for flex, so if you actually need the job, you prepare for it, you ask questions. Yoruba will say, there are different ways to tell someone sorry. So I can tell you sorry in such a way that you want to slap me. I can tell you sorry in such a way that you actually feel sorry, So it's not a bad question. neither is it a good question, but it's depending on the context.
All right, thank you. So we have another question from Duni. Um and it says a lot of interview experts say that sharing a weakness is good, so one doesn't sound as if to pretend one is perfect. However, others say it isn't advisable as HR can use whatever weakness is shared in the interview against you. Please, what is your opinion on this?
Okay, like I mentioned again, context and people can influence how a particular situation turns out. I think last month or last 2 months, we were recruiting for a particular role for one of our clients in Europe. And the feedback they gave on one of the candidates is that the person seems like a perfectionist. And we're like, okay, perfectionist, like, how do you mean? Like, is that not what you should even like? Someone that wants to do their job and do it very, very well and make sure that they dot all the I's and cross all the T's. But to that particular company, they don't want someone who is a perfectionist because it could be because you take so much time in delivering a product that is meant for to the deadline is 3 months. You're doing it for 3 months and 2 weeks. It's drawing them down. And then another company will see such kind of like, this is who we want. I'm saying this to say that weaknesses can be portrayed even as strengths if you know how to tell your story very well at interviews. Weaknesses are not bad in themselves, but your ability to share your weaknesses and what you're doing to improve on them. For instance, it could be that for myself, there are times that my company does not allow us to work, does not permit us, or no, let me say permit us, does not encourage us to work across or more than and after 5 p.m. 5 p.m. West African time, and anytime my team lead or any of my line managers sees me send a mail or do something past that time, there's a way they just come into your WhatsApp or Slack, like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be off work. There's a particular one that happened on a weekend. My team literally just typed the message and just be like, close your laptop. My weakness, if I would be going to an interview, it'd be like, oh, I probably work, I'm a workaholic. So a company, that's the kind of person they want. Hey, this person is a workaholic, as a fisher, like we can really overwork this one. This kind of person we need, And another company is saying, no, we don't want you to overwork so that you can be productive the next day and you can be productive for us, So you can talk about your weaknesses in such a way that you also let them know what you're doing to get better at them. And I must also admonish us or let us know that a lot of people have different opinions about things out there. When you go on LinkedIn, you hear different things about people that are some people never fire people, they always hire people, all those kind of very interesting conversations online there. You don't have to pretend. You just need to be very realistic about where you are at the moment, where you're coming from, and where you are going to. A weakness, this is the weakness that I have. This was how it used to be. I used to be very, very bad. I didn't know how to communicate very well. But now I can write well, I can speak well, I'm very empathetic when I talk to people. And that it was a weakness. It was a very strong weakness, but now you're better at it and you're open to be better, 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 better. I hope that answers your question.
Hopefully it does. Hopefully it does.
Tony, I'll be very happy to
I
know
hope
if
your question has been answered. So we have a question from Ibukula. Wow, I was going to have to like speed up time because I can see a question from Victoria that might take a bit of time to answer. So Ibukula Wow is asking, how do you ensure trust is communicated, especially as an entry-level job seeker? Simply convincing the employer that you possess the required skill set.
All right. How do you ensure trust is communicated? First off, if you are the one that performed a task, it should come easy for you to share with people how you do that particular task. I remember when I was starting out on my first job, and I had to meet with that panel of interviewers, and they were asking me questions as regards situations, what I did in particular situations. The only examples I could give them were actual situations where I have handled, so you can build trust with people that you've just met in 1 hour by sharing your own experience. Your experience is your own. I can't fault your experience. I can only make decision based on what I metrics that I have already set for myself. You're not the problem. It's how you tell me. It could be that, oh, you told me you told me that you're living in Lagos, Nigeria, and then something happened at the end of the call. Oh, you just mentioned that, oh, you are in Abeokuta, and I'm like, okay, how Abeokuta, you're in Abeokuta, you live in Lagos, Nigeria, how did that happen? So you could decide to tell a story that probably say, oh, you had to come for an event, but and whatnot. So you can build trust by owning your story, making sure that your stories are realistic as possible, and then trust is built over time, not just on one call. Some people already have trust issues. No matter how you try to appeal to them, they wouldn't trust you, So in building trust, from the first time you intervene with the company, or for the first time the recruiter is reaching out to you, make sure that you're truthful as possible. When you're invited to the second stage of interview, make sure that the information you're providing is accurate and concurrent as you move along. So the first interviewer that met with you should be able to, when having conversation with the next interviewer, they should have something that, oh yeah, he did say this. Oh, he did say this. Yeah, he said he knows how to use Figma. Yeah, oh, he said he knows how to use Figma on a scale of 1 to 5, it's 2% or 2, and then, oh yeah, he did say 2, or probably what you have on your CV, you said you work at Product Hub, and then you are saying that, oh, I didn't really work at Product Hub, it was just a gig I did. The information you are providing are already looking scattered, they are not aligning. Make sure that your communication to everyone is aligning. It may not be exact, you may not be saying the exact thing, but what you're saying should mean the same thing to these people. I hope that answers the point.
Thank you so much. I believe that you answered the question because I am also clear on that. So we have a question from Janet, and it says, in a case where one is asked how much is your salary expectation for the job, is it advisable to give a specific amount?
Um, in a case where you have this, usually I tell people to give a range. And of course, when planning for your interview, you should have done research either from current or past employees, or probably just check markets. You can check Glassdoor, or you could just check markets survey or something online. The internet is there for your good. You can decide to do whatever you want with it. You have an Android phone, an iPhone, for your good. You could give a range, which is very, very advisable. Say, you could say 100 to 200 or 100 to 150, but make sure that it is very realistic. As an entry-level person, what you should be gunning for the most is you want to gain experience. Entry-level person, you're asking for 600 to 800,000. It's a good one. It's a good one. But then you must also be able to manage your expectation and make sure that it's realistic. So asking for a range is good, except in a case where you already know, when you're already been told that this is the salary budget. They're telling you that the budget is 100,000, and you are insisting, saying that it is 300,000. Although sometimes there's always what's it called, budget review, especially when the candidate is exceptional. I've had cases like that where I've helped people to negotiate area, and it's always based on the skill they have that the company needs. Yeah, so you could do a range. I advise a range, not a specific figure. It keeps you on the safe spot.
All right, thank you. So a question from Victoria, and it says, I know that one can access jobs on Propel. Is there a way you can please show us how to find available jobs on the Propel website? Also, do we have to be part of a community before we can access that feature on the website?
All right. The demo session is a different class on its own. But what I will do is that I will share our product demo link with Victoria. But let me see if I can quickly get it so we can use it at our own so we don't stretch more than the time. Oh, don't worry, I'll send it to Victoria and Victoria will send it to us on the group chat. And yes, you have to be part of a community to access jobs on Propel. And we have Product Hub. We're super excited to have this partnership with your community. Your link it's already there. I think I have Product Hub link here with me. Or Eniola, if you have, you can please share in the chat box for
Okay, so we'll be sharing the link and we'll be dropping it in the chat box.
okay. I'm trying to do that.
Okay, so I believe we can still take more questions, right?
Yes. I'm in for
Okay,
it.
okay. So I'll be asking the next question from Ridwan because we've answered two from Nuruddin. It says, will the interview be based on things in the CV only? How can one approach answering technical questions? Is it compulsory to only look for entry-level roles when you're just starting out?
Thanks for the question. Where is it? Is it after new reading?
No, yeah, from Ridwan Adeni.
Will the interview be based on the CV only? I want us to know that roles or jobs are open because, let me say ideally, roles or jobs are opened in companies because there is a need. Like ideally, like that is the ideal way of doing things. You don't just open a vacancy because you want people to know that your company has arrived. There has to be a need before a role is open. And before that happens, a job analysis must have been done on why do we need this role? What do we need it for? Who is the ideal candidate? What skill set does this person not need to have? Everything that is needed for that role. And then there's what kind of person, what's the personality of the person that would love to fill this role or to occupy this role based on our company culture that we're trying to build. So your CV is not what informs how the interview happens, but then a recruiter may want to try, or an interviewer may want to confirm the things that you have said that you can do in your CV from just asking, oh, you said you can use Illustrator, or probably, oh, you said you work with Product of Africa. Enola permits me, it's your your committee name have been calling since, or let's say
That's fine.
or you said, oh, you work in Propel for 3 years and this was what you were doing. So they just want to verify and make sure that what you said is true. You don't have your CV there with you. We have it here with us. So we just want to confirm the details, So it's not always like that. They can decide to ask you solely questions on your CV, or then they can decide to ask you questions based on the role, and it will always be around what you have already done or what you said you can do, and that's why you applied, and that's why they invited you for the interview. How can one approach answering technical questions? Like I would say again, an interview, ideally, you get questions that are based on either what you have done or what is already there's an expo already in the JD or the job advert. Like the role that I currently that I came into to Propel, there were things on the JD that I was not doing before, but I had an ink into it. So what did I do? I had to go online and went to read about it, and let the interviewers know that, yeah, not like I've not done this thing on a large scale, but then I've done it maybe on the side, and then letting them know that I am willing to learn. Not all companies are like that. And then you can't control some things. You can only control the jobs you apply to. You can control how you own your skills. You can control how you prepare for interviews. You can control how you answer questions. You can't control the question. You may not be able to control the questions the interview want to ask you. you may not be able to control things that the interviewer may want to do, but you can control your own situation around that thing. Revise on the projects that you've done in the past, especially the ones you have in your portfolio that you shared with them. Go back to them. It could be a project that you did while you were in the boot camp at Product of Africa. It could be a project that you and one of your friends that you met in Product Africa marketing, you guys did. It doesn't have to even be an actual job. I usually encourage and tell entry-level people that don't always focus or think it's only when you get a paid corporate job that you can put on your CV. You can actually put the project that you've done in hackathons, in your boot camps, and all of that, as long as you were the one that did it and you can tell the story. I've seen people copy other people's projects in their portfolio and then get to interviews and flop. And your third question, is it compulsory to only look for entry-level roles when you're starting out? You ended it. You said when you're just starting out. You are just starting out in a particular what's it called, industry. It is, especially when you don't even have experience at all, it is ideal for you to apply for either junior roles or probably entry-level roles like you detailed it here, because you can't be a team lead. You want to lead a team of who? Or you want to be an assistant team lead of what? Except maybe it's a one-man company and the CEO is adding you to him or herself, and it's just the two of you there. And the title is just the title. It's not like you have the skill. So it's not a compulsion, but then it is advisable. And if you get the opportunity to interview for a bigger role, then when you get to interview, you pay yourself.
Thank you, thank you. So this question I feel is very, very important. Um Bridget, I'm sorry, Blessing asked, what stands out in a cold email and how can one use it to make a good first impression?
Awesome. I'm saying awesome because when I was also shooting my shot to tech startup, I didn't do, no, okay, I did cold emails. I also did cold outreaches on social media. And the key thing that I highlighted was I made sure that before I reached out to these people, I reached out to actual people, I didn't take what's it called, company info email. No, LinkedIn is there for you. The internet is there. Twitter is there. YouTube is there. I went to look for these people, especially for those that post online. I went to look for their social media listing, and I looked for like a current happening or a current achievement that they just did, or something about them in the news. And those were the things I started with. There was a particular CEO that his wife just delivered, and then his company, I think they just opened another branch in, was it Kigali? Introduce myself. My name is Falakemi, and I'm a recruitment or talent acquisition specialist with this. Oh, I'm reaching out to you because of this. Congratulations on your newborn. No, I think I forget that one as at the end. I'm reaching out because of XYZ. I'm interested in working with your company. I'm a talent acquisition specialist of 3 years of experience, and I can do this. I see that you have a need to recruit for a technical recruiter in your company, and I'll be happy to be interviewed for this role. I wish I could share you a particular. Let me look for something. Please hold on. Let me show you one of those. Practical is good. Please permit me to draw out this. Let me show us this particular one, and you will see the response that the HR person gave to me.
Oh, please, thank you. Would appreciate that.
Yeah, please just hold on. Why is LinkedIn doing like this? Please permit me. Hold on. I'll share my screen shortly. And that it made my day that day. It got me an interview, although I didn't get the job, but it got me an interview. What's her name? Rita. Right, she's no more in the company, but it got me an interview to, yeah. All right. I'll share my screen in 1, 2, 3. Where's Zoom? Just let me know when you can see my screen. All right, so can you see my screen? Can you see my
Yes,
screen?
we can.
Okay, so this was one of it. You can see December 2021. Hello, Rita. My name is Falakemi, a recruiter, and possibly the addition whom you're looking for to join your team. And that's because I saw an advert that they were doing. And mind you, my page, my LinkedIn page, had every details about myself, where I was, and what I was anticipating for. It means my bio, my about, everything was in place. And then don't worry, I didn't have 28,000 followers then, you know. And I told her that I just came across your post from some months ago on your need for a recruiter. Is the door still open for discussion? I would like to be interviewed for this. You know, I could have the audacity to do this because I have checked out the requirement for the role, and it fits almost perfectly, except that it's a technical recruiter role, and then I'd not known so much about technical recruitment, but I had already started doing recruitment, you know. And then look at her, look at what she said. She said, "Thank you for reaching out, and I like your page. Please submit your profile via the link below, and I'll take it up from there." And that was how I got what's it called? An interview with them. And can I look for? Don't worry. There are others to share, but I think that one stood out also for me. You know, so the skills that you have are your arsenals. Either what you're learning, either the transferable skills you already have, they are the arsenals that you can use to fight your battles, you know, and skillfully selecting these people. I would like to take Godfrey's questions. Please, did I answer the question well to your taste? Blessing Ike Battle. Awesome. Yeah. Eniola, is still there?
Okay, I think there's something wrong with our mic because she's unmuted, but let me just ask the question. So Jeffrey asked that he asked 3 questions actually. So the first one is, what are common mistakes we should avoid during interviews?
Okay. What are common mistakes we should avoid during interviews? Okay. One is using fluffy words, you know, fluffy words that do not really have a particular meaning. Or it could be like, oh, I'm detailed oriented. What does that mean? Or some of those words you can look them up. And also, I mentioned earlier, maintain eye contact, especially when you're doing a virtual interview. Make sure that you're looking into your camera, or you're looking into your screen. It will give like you're looking at them. And make sure that you don't answer questions out of context, because I need you to know that sometimes the interviewers will ask you questions based on what you say, so you can lead the conversation. So don't mention projects you did not do. Don't mention situations that you were not part of. Don't mention things that you know that you really don't have a grasp of. And the only way this can be possible is if you have also prepared beforehand. Although we know that there are times that during the interview, questions can come up. But then, like I mentioned again, your questions will most time determine what your question or your answers or conversations during interview will most likely drive how the conversation ends. I've been in interviews where a candidate is asked to define ABC, and then they move along to start doing XYZ. And then the whole interview just turns to yam, pepper, scatter, scatter, because you're wasting everybody's time. You know, making sure that you're using the STAR approach. Talk about, let them know the situation, the task you did in that situation, the action you carried to accomplish that task, and then the results, And number two, in your perspective and opinion, what are tips and strategies to build our online presence and land a job at the same time, strategies to get in touch like you did? So one of the strategies that I tell people in building their online presence is remaining authentic as much as possible. You don't need to be like me. We don't need two Folakemis in the world. We need individuals who may share the same values, but then are able to share the gifts of their individuality to the world. You can start building your presence online by you learning product marketing or product management. Tell us what you learned today. And mind you, what you're sharing may not be for everyone. It may be for other entry-level people like yourself that are looking for someone that's on the same journey as them. You could tell them what your instructor taught you today. Tell them what you gained from class today. You could be as realistic and be as original as possible. And what I did for myself is to tell people or teach people, especially job candidates, how they could apply to jobs. How do you present your CV? How do you talk at how should you talk at interviews? How do you plan yourself ahead of an interview? How do you follow up on a recruiter or a hiring manager after an interview and they've not reached out to you for a week, two, and all of that, basically telling us about your own experience. And if you want to do curated experience, there was also a time that I didn't have the luxury of time to create content. I was creating from people that share the same ideologies as I do, and I just put it there and give credit to them. Oh, Eniola Adesoya said this about jobs, and I agreed to it. It's not rocket science. Rome was not built in a day, just one after the other. And I noticed that when I was sharing my building my online presence, it helped my company to increase in revenue because companies started reaching out to me that they wanted to recruit, and I made a lot of sales back then, and then it increased my company's awareness. It also increased my own brand authenticity because people could be like, oh, this girl talks so much about this, it means she knows it. I've seen people, content creators, get jobs because of what people think they can do, and of course they get to the interview and they ace it. Have you some resources apart from ACE and LinkedIn to prepare for? Yeah, I mentioned that you can go on YouTube to check out for videos, tutorials that can really help you to do that. And also there are a lot of resume preparation sites out there. You can just check out on Google.
Okay, thank you for that, Kemi. I don't know if you can hear me now. Can you hear me? Okay. So what I was saying before my mic cut off was, I think that your code message was a very good one. It was brief and like direct to the point. I just wanted to put that out there. And
Thank
that
you
you
very
also
much.
stated something that while you were sending out these code messages, you made sure that your LinkedIn was packed full with
Yeah,
things you were doing and things
yeah,
about you. I just
yeah,
wanted to point that out. So
yeah.
I have a question. And this question is, what should candidates do after an interview to maintain a positive impression and increase their chances of receiving a job?
Number one, before you even finish, number one, don't bug your interviewer or hiring manager with lots of emails or trying to stalk them all around. It can be very, very, permit me to use the word uncomfortable and irritating. A particular candidate who we already considering for a role in my former employment, so ideally, when you are a consultant, you are the one that does the first level outreach to the candidate before connecting them with the clients. The clients only gets to have direct contact aside the interview until they are done and selected one. So this after the interview, started sending out outreaches to the company and was just asking questions. And this guy was the one they were already considering. And the lady just called and she was not happy. Like, the reason why they outsourced their recruitment is because she didn't even want their HR people that don't like recruitment because of the many wahala, like, and although the guy was eventually hired, but she actually had to reach us and give us a stern warning, like, no, this guy should not be reaching out to me like this. One, don't bug your interviewers. Number two, I usually tell people, if you don't hear from your interviewer or the person that your interviewer in like a week or two, you can send an email as a follow-up to the interview. Like, it is ideal, except those people, the people that interview it carry fire on their head, or they're just being narcissists. Ideally you should be able to follow up. People follow up on me and I give them responses. And even before you follow up, I try to give people responses to let them know, oh, hey, I'm not intentionally keeping quiet on you. The company has stalled the process, or the company is considering something else and all of that. So, but one, don't stalk your interviewers, don't stalk them around. Like, now them they rush you, like they'll say, like, let them be the one, they are the one that saw something and they want to interview you, so give them time to think about it. And funny enough, the person that interview you may not be the major decision maker. He or she may still need to speak with 2, 3, 4 people before they get back to you. So, and number two, do follow-ups, but then give it at intervals. Could be 2 weeks you didn't hear from them, then maybe a month later, then after a month, just maybe try to move on. Although it's on them, it's not ideal practice that they don't get back to you, but then you have a life to live.
Thank you so much, for laughing. So, okay, this question we almost skipped it. So sorry, Musa. So Musa asked, what would be your advice for people transitioning from non-technical backgrounds like finance and marketing into tech? What skills can be transferable, and what entry-level roles should one look out for?
Tech is broad, find your interest in tech. Like myself, I'm coming from a traditional consulting background, HR consulting background. And then I'm now doing talent acquisition partnerships in tech. It means I'm being introduced to a lot of tools that I've never used before until now, but there were particular things that I used to have that are relevant to me now. Mind you, like I mentioned earlier, I try as much as possible in my little way to create content around what I do. And my role as a growth and partnership person requires me to send out periodic outreaches to community leaders, and then I also sometimes create content internally. That's a skill that I developed in my former role. And then a skill also, like it could be interpersonal skills. Right now you're looking at the interpersonal skills you have, and probably, oh, let's say for someone like finance, it's either you're looking at something like data analytics. You may not know how to use all the Excels of this world or Power BIs of this world, like a guru or all of that, but then you should be able to look at what you were doing then, and then see how it applies to what you're doing, where you're looking to go to. I was somebody that is the marketing. You're either going into product marketing. It means to be marketing products, tech products or digital products that your company you want to work with are building. So trying to find your interest in tech, but still not straying so much away from what you used to do. For instance, my current team lead, she has transitioned 5 industries in our work lifetime of 10 years. She has moved from being a front-end developer to being a business operations person. And then from business operations, she did some other job, and now she's leading partnerships, conversations at Propel. But all of this what kept her true to be relevant, like she will always tell us, that's what I'm referencing. She always tell us is that when you are at a job, make sure that you are present in that job. You are not lusting after somebody's job while you are not delivering value in yours. So you have a non-technical background like I did, and you want to go into tech. Look at those aspects in tech that somewhat align with what you currently do, but then makes it how will I put it now? Makes it more, I don't want to use the word techie, you know, or, I don't know if I answered your questions. What transferable? And again, I want to debunk this idea that if you're transitioning, that sometimes you have to transition like you're starting all over again. And I'm saying this to especially roles in tech that do not require technical expertise. I'm not talking about software development and the like. There are other roles in tech or interest in tech that do not require coding and all of that. Part of what I do at Propel is product marketing. Every day I jump on calls to do intro calls. Before, what I did at my former place was sharing with people, even on our social media, and the client that reached us was about our service offering. It was not a product-led company, it was a service offering, service-led company. So I let them know the benefits of using protein services and all of that. But now I'm letting people know the importance of using the products that Propel community and service platform that we build, the benefits to them and what they stand to gain. So it's more like understanding your context and talking around that. But I don't know if I answered most of this question. And again, my former team leading had to take a pay cut in all of the roles she transitioned to, although they were not like they needed some special skills, but they needed the person to be able to, you can learn fast. You are someone who is result driven. We need that skill. You're someone who learns easily, like you take up tasks easily. We need that. That sometimes the technical skill does not do it all. Your character, your soft skills, like some people say soft skills are hard skills. They are the ones that you actually need to grow on the job. Very important. Yeah, thank you, Mr.
Thank you so much for that, Kemi. I just really want to appreciate you again for taking time out of your Saturday to speak to us and share your knowledge and expertise with us. We say a big thank you. So we are wrapping up the session now, and before we do that, I just want to ask if you have any parting remarks from yourself personally and from Propel.
Yeah, okay. I'll start with from myself. Like I started with in the beginning, your journey and your story is yours to tell. As much as possible in your journey to transition to tech, learn from people, but don't compare yourself with them because your context differs. You may not have access to the amount of resources that they do, and then I've seen people say that they started their transition to tech, especially the coding part, with their phones. Some people's stories not like that. Some people started with actual MacBook because that's their context. They have the money. So the idea is that you are adding to your skill set. The idea is that you are owning your skill. So I also mentioned earlier, some people will get their first job in tech the first month they started learning, some 2 months, some 6 months, some 1 year, some more than 1 year. But the thing is that whatever you're doing, make sure that you are adding value to yourself and the company or the project team that you're working with, because it will be part of your portfolio and the stories you will tell during interviews, and you don't want to be caught off guard. And for Propel, we are really happy and encourage you to join the Product Hub community on Propel. We are an ecosystem. We have tens and hundreds of products interested community, and we're glad to have Product Hub as part of them. Product Hub on Propel will give you access to only product related jobs. And I think one of your tags is also design, product design, product management, product marketing, everything product jobs that we have, you have them available to you. Or are you a techie that work remotely and you need somewhere to work? We have a lot of perks, interesting perks with discounts on the platform. It could be workstations, it could be health and wellness. We have a deal with iFitness. It could be you need therapy, or you need like a therapy outfit. We have my therapist as one of our partners as well. You can get a 30% discount to use the service. It could be that you want to learn and upskill your skill in tech. We have Treford, we have Jupiter, we have Deaf Institute, we have Conclave, a lot of them on the platform for you to upskill yourself. Don't stop learning. Don't stop learning. It's a very, very important thing. Don't stop learning, because tech is evolving, and not just only tech, the world is evolving. And you can be the best product manager today. Tomorrow, if you don't upskill yourself today, tomorrow another person might be the one the world is chasing after. So innovation, you must continue chasing after, and make sure that you use every resource that Eniola, Aisha, and the Product of Africa team shares with you for your own growth. So thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. And to our audience, I want to say a big thank you, because you made the session interactive. You made it a lovely one with your questions and your comments. Thank you so much. I hope that you found this session very insightful and enlightening. And we hope that you would use everything that you've gotten, all the tidbits, the knowledge, and you would put them into practice when you're looking for that next job. Thank you very much once again. I cannot stop saying thank you. Thank you for coming. And we hope that you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for Lakemi. All trainees kindly stay behind in the Zoom meeting. Don't go off yet.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Let me check if okay, I think she's gone. So I hope you enjoyed today's session. I would like you to, can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I would like you to definitely drop one thing you learned on Slack. I'm sure you learned a lot of things. If you were not jotting down anything, just know that you've made a mistake, but you can actually still correct your mistake, because we'll be dropping this video on YouTube. It's recorded. I feel like you can stop recording now anyway. So you can rewatch, and all the